4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
How many times have you had something like this happen to you? Hey, did you hear what so-and-so said? Hey, did you hear what such and such said? What do you think about that? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that wild? What's your opinion? But it seems like we have to have an opinion about everything that so-and-so did or such and such said. But is that really the case? Why in our world today are we asked time and time again, hey, what do you think about that? What's your opinion? Is that okay? Is that good? Or is it bad in some way for us as disciples of Jesus Christ to have opinions about everything? That's what we're going to be talking about today on the show. Welcome to Ignition. I'm your host, Dr. Chris Bergwald, and we want to set your faith ablaze so that you might live the adventure that comes from a relationship with Jesus Christ. Before we get into today's topic, we want you to know that we love listener feedback. So if you've got questions about today's episode, or if you have ideas for future episodes, please contact us. The easiest way to do so is by email, and the address is
Ignition at sfcatholic.org.
That's right. Ignition at sfcatholic.org. Just checking, Robyn, to
I know,
make
I
sure
could tell
that
you were kind of side looking at me to see if I was paying attention.
I was looking at
I know, but I
camera.
sensed it.
What number camera is this, Casey?
This one?
Yeah. That's
So am I looking at number 2?
Yes. Or is that number? That might be number 2. You may have, that's
number 3.
I've got number 1.
Third time's the charm.
You're number 3.
All right.
Hi.
So, do you have an opinion on that?
Hold on. Don't. Hey, this is my show. You've got your own show. You can take the reins when I give them to you. Who are you, though, before we get into opinions?
Who am I?
Oh, for goodness sake.
I am Robyn. I am wife to Spike, mom to 7, mother-in-law to 3, grandma to 2. I'm a farm wife. I'm a Catholic convert. And most importantly, I am a
Co-host
daughter.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, my most important role outside of all my vocational responsibilities is co-hosting with Dr. Bergwald on Ignition.
What is your most important identity, though? You're about to say
As a
something.
daughter of the King. I'm living in divine daughterhood.
Are you the daughter of the King?
What? Of our Lord? What? Yes. Why are you doing this to me? Is this your opinion? What, did I say something goofy?
Who's the King?
God, Jesus.
Jesus? You're Jesus' daughter?
Yes.
Are you?
Or I'm his sister.
Oh, which one? The Trinity episode.
well,
I know
Trinity.
Trinity Sunday was a long time at this point. By the time people are hearing it,
it's actually
but as we're
coming this
recording
week.
it, it's about to happen.
It's
Robyn,
all. No, let's move on. Stop opinionating in your mind about this.
Opinionating.
I made that up. Is that a word?
We are, actually, I think it is a word.
Who are you, anyway? So over there. Who are you?
I am beloved son of our Heavenly Father.
Heavenly Father. Okay. That makes us siblings.
Yeah, unfortunately for you, we are brother and sister in the Lord. Been married to Jermaine for, well, as people are hearing this, it will be 25 years.
Oh,
not quite as many
milestone.
as you guys, but
Congrats.
Thank you.
And happy anniversary.
And Jermaine and I have 5 kids, from 20, as people are hearing this, down to 12. And I am the director of discipleship formation with the Diocese of Sioux Falls. Been here working with the diocese since 2002. So,
Okay.
do you have any other questions for me?
Nope.
No.
Not yet.
You ready? This is awkward transition right there.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Well, so
It's not awkward because everyone has opinions. So let's just jump into people having an
People have
opinion.
opinions. So this was our topic for today. Arose because I asked you, so what do you think, Robyn? What do you want to talk about? And he said, I don't know, what do you want to talk about? So we went back and forth like that for a little while first. And then we both explained why we hadn't thought about it much because we're both busy. And finally, one of those beautiful children that you mentioned earlier had a great idea. And I said no to that one. Then one of your other beautiful children had another great idea, to which I said yes. And that's the one we're talking about today. So what can you set up for us a little bit, sort of the context out of which the question arose in the Bruggeman household discussion? What should we do for Ignition this week?
Yeah, which
kids?
is a pretty common thing before we record. I'll just ask, do you guys have any questions about the faith? What do you want me to ask Dr. B or talk about? And one of the things I asked you is a little bit probably too controversial for the show right now. So that then my kids were like, well, because I knew that the topic I first brought up, you're like, yeah, probably not. It's a good thing to talk about, just not on your show, probably.
Correct.
Anyways, but that led into us as a family, and it was my oldest daughter and my son-in-law, about how basically the topic that I had first that was talked about at the table, they talked about how everybody has an opinion on that topic.
Sure. Yep.
And so then that led into everybody has an opinion on everything nowadays.
Yep.
And not in such a good way. Like
Right.
that people instantly have a thought, probably even before they have absorbed all of the information and had time to really weigh it out. There's that immediate reaction of an opinion. So we were kind of talking about that, and then that led into, ask Dr. B what he thinks about that. The whole topic of, do we have to have an opinion on everything? It's a weird world we live in, where I think because of social media, I think it's become that way, and because information is just being thrown at us so quickly that we just think we have to have that opinion instantly of, I agree or I disagree. I don't know. So that's my thought. So that's kind of where this
Great.
came from at the supper table last night.
Because as a way, okay, I'm going to start with some thoughts, but I have homework for Casey. Casey, I need you to look up the etymology of opinion for me.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So, Robyn, as you were talking about that, and this was, topic A, I'm like, not for ignition, but topic B, which is kind of around, related, as you just explained, related to topic A. But yes, so do we have to have an opinion about everything? Mm-hmm. So as Casey's looking up the etymology, I always love the etymology of words. And I think it's important for us to, okay, when we say that, do I have to have an opinion about everything? What do we mean by that, actually? Like, so what is an opinion? So before Casey tells us the etymology of opinion, like, what do you think? I think it was one of your daughters. Oh, he's going to pull up a
Casey,
fantastic.
you are so great.
But don't look, Robyn.
Okay,
Don't look.
That would be cheating.
What is? What? I'm talking to you here, Bruggeman.
What is?
What did your daughter mean, do you think? You probably have a pretty good idea. I have a pretty good idea. But what did she mean when she said, do we have to have an opinion about everything? What does that mean? What's an opinion in that context?
I don't know how to explain what I mean, I know what she meant. Well, you know her.
Yeah.
So what do you, like, I think it's just that it's kind of frustrating because, well, in this case, this topic that is going on right now that's being talked about a lot outside of here, a person can't even bring it up without the worry of people jumping on with their opinions, good or bad. And so quite often it makes it hard to even talk about a topic in certain circumstances because you can't always have a good conversation without people throwing their input in of their immediate opinion.
Right. So what is an opinion?
Their thoughts on it, how they view it. I don't know. Not right.
There's a J word.
Judging.
Their judgment of it. So interesting.
Which I'm glad you brought that up because that is, you're afraid of being judged by
other people. No. An opinion is a judgment.
You are judging. Okay.
An opinion is a judgment. So
okay.
Casey pulled up for us the etymology of opinion. So early 14th century, opinion, a judgment formed or a conclusion reached, especially one based on evidence that does not produce knowledge or certainty. From Old French opinion, view, judgments, but founded upon probabilities. So that's the definition, the etymology, going back from opinare, blah blah, to choose.
Yeah.
But I want to go that definition that it offers from the early 14th century: a judgment formed or a conclusion reached, especially one based on evidence that does not produce knowledge or certainty. So, an opinion, Are you sure about your opinion? Usually not, because if I'm sure, there's good evidence. So an opinion, in that sense, which I think is true about our common everyday usage, is based on limited knowledge. This is my judgment about the particular topic. So back to the question, do I have to have an opinion about everything? Well, if an opinion is probable judgment based, a judgment that's only probable, that's merely probable because it's based on a lack of information, I think the answer is probably no. Mm-hmm. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's wrong if I do. So that was a lot of whatever that sound that was right there. What's wrong with having an opinion? Like, why was your daughter like, oh, does everybody have to have an opinion about everything? What was she, you were already speaking to this. I want to come back to this. What was your daughter bemoaning or lamenting about our society?
Well, I think it's that people want to weigh in their opinion, but it isn't, I don't even know how to explain it, but in today's world, especially when it comes to like social media, when people are weighing in their opinion in forceful ways, it ends up making a person feel, I think, like they can't even have their own opinion about something. Because, and I didn't know that was just going to come out that way. But maybe that's more me thinking that too. Like sometimes you just don't want to enter into a territory that you are like, okay, people are going to weigh in on this good and bad with me, against me. And I just feel like we've lost this sense of being able to accept other people's opinions or hear them without there being this way of making someone, it's almost like your opinion, as much as in the world we live in, your opinion counts and you can put it out there so much, it's almost like there's, I think, almost less respect for an opinion. Does that make any sense? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do think I know what you mean.
That's probably what you were expecting. That was not what I was expecting to come out, but it did.
Are you okay? So there's a few different things.
I think the whole judging thing comes into. But
okay. So, Robyn, what's wrong with me having an opinion? What's wrong? Why can't I have an opinion?
I think everybody is entitled to their opinion, as long as people remember, okay, this is my opinion. This is why I think X, Y, or Z, and I believe this to be true. But other people are entitled to have their own opinion as well, and we can talk about it, and we can agree to disagree. We can disagree, but there's a nice way to do it.
Okay, so you just brought up several things right there.
And we only have less than 20 minutes.
So you're entitled to your opinion. Does that mean that I can't ask you about your opinion? Can I ask you about your opinion?
You absolutely can. And if people are willing to give their opinion, they better be ready to answer.
Can I try to persuade you that your opinion is wrong and or that my opinion is right? I
am open to that. I don't think everybody is. If it's someone you trust.
You're okay. You're okay with me asking you questions. You're okay with me trying to persuade you. What aren't you okay with?
I'm mostly just not okay with the people that aren't okay being that way. And they're asking. Seriously though. So you want what you're desiring is that, okay, if we're having a conversation for everybody.
What?
I want mutual respect for everyone.
Okay, but that's different than the lament from your daughter was, do I have to have an opinion about everything? But that's not really the issue that you're speaking to right there.
Probably not. Well, you know, Michaela. So you what do you think what she's meaning?
Well, okay.
Should we dial up a friend here?
There's no. So this is where I'm very much sympathetic to Michaela's point. Again, going back to the etymology, the technical the definition of an opinion, it's a probable judgment. Mm-hmm. My issue with people having all sorts of opinions is, okay, the dictionary definition, or a dictionary definition of opinion, is a probable judgment. Sometimes I don't know, because I don't have a strong opinion because I want more information. I'm not good with a probable judgment. I want a certain or more certain judgment. My issue, my lament is people are completely okay with spouting off their thoughts with inadequate evidence.
Absolutely.
So and I suspect that that's where Michaela's coming from as well. Like, people do have opinion, and again, opinion is a probable, merely probable judgment. Well, can we maybe gather more evidence? So the instance, the topic A that I shot down, one of my responses in this whole, so this is a controversy, as Robyn and I are recording, it's mid-May. There's a controversy that erupted over something that somebody said in a speech, and tempest in a teapot. Frankly, I think Robyn, certainly by the time people are hearing this in August, it's going to have largely died down, if not even sooner. But one of my things, okay, what did they actually say?
Exactly.
Did you actually listen to what they said?
And the whole thing in context.
And the whole thing in
Yes,
context.
absolutely.
So this is my thing where I'm with Michaela. Do I have to have an opinion about everything? And does that mean, do I have to, based on partial knowledge and information, render a judgment about everything? No, and that I would say, and no, and we should do less of that. Let's gather more information. Let's get more facts. But why, Robyn? Why is that important? Why? So
Well, it's always important to know
Why?
the facts and the real thing. Because you could say things that are not correct.
but it's just my opinion.
or-
So what's wrong with that?
I know,
So,
but people take people's opinions as truth, I think, and
I don't take
but
your
they-
opinions as truth necessarily, right? I know. Can you believe it?
I don't know what's the right answer. Like, what do you think, doctor?
How did I put the question to you just now? What did I just say? What's wrong with that? Okay, because when I'm making a judgment, I'm determining the rightness or wrongness of something that somebody said or did. Well, if I'm going to not merely have that, but also then try to convince other people, it's incumbent upon me. I would say I have a duty and a responsibility to gather as much evidence as I can so that I'm making an accurate judgment internally, and especially if I'm trying to convince others of my judgment as well.
For sure.
So to be really clear, I have no problem, as you said earlier yourself, I have zero problem with you trying to convince me of your opinion. If we're going based on, again, well, and on whether it's a limited or a lot of information, I have no problem with somebody trying to convince me, but I'm going to say back, okay, show me the money. Like, what's your evidence? You're trying to get me to agree with you. Why should make your case? And when you make a case, so courtroom, right? The prosecution is going to make their case. What do they need to do? They need to assemble evidence and present it to the jury. So if you're going to make the case, show me the evidence. I'm not just going to go along with you because you happen to be really passionate about it, or because we know each other. Make the case. So I'll do this with my kids, and my kids unfortunately do it back to me. Unfortunately,
Same.
I'm glad. I'm thankful for it. But just because they know me or I know them, that's in and of itself isn't necessarily enough. Now, hopefully, because I'm their dad, and hopefully I've earned some credibility and respect with them. So hopefully they'll give me the benefit of the doubt. But there's nothing wrong with it. And it's a good thing for them to say, okay, but Dad, but why?
Yeah. What's your
I mean,
reasoning?
I love you, and I do trust you. But do you have a reason, or is this just some, it happens to be your opinion in the more literal sense? Why should I agree with you? I think that's an important thing that we need to do in our society culture today.
Yeah. And I think it's okay. As we were talking about this last night at the table, and just as I've been thinking about it since then, it's okay to be like, I don't actually really know how I feel about that. I don't have an opinion, because you don't need to have an opinion. I think that's part of this too, is that feeling that need in today's world to have to decide, well, how do I feel about that? Well, you don't have to have an opinion right away. Look into it. Don't feel that urgency to form your opinion before you have had that time. I know one of Spike's favorite things to say that I just love about him is he will not speak on things he does not know, especially situations. And so, going back to the whole dad thing, and I hear him talk about, if anybody asks Spike something, do you know, blah, 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 and he'll say, I don't know enough to talk about it, and I love how he has forever, me knowing him, he's good with saying that. And I think our world isn't so much that, because we just live in this fast.
Right.
And so I think it's okay. And I think that's the step back I wanted to take with this, is to go, you know what, guys, you don't have to always have an opinion right away. Like, don't force your thoughts on it.
Yep.
Step back.
Yep.
And then do the digging down, see the whole whatever, something, not, don't take it out of context. Look at it. Then by all means, form your opinion with your conscience and how you feel and the facts. Absolutely. But I think it's to give yourself permission to say, it's okay. I don't know. I can't speak into it right now because I just don't know. And I would rather speak truth than speak out of an opinion that I don't, which is basically everything you've said. Have your facts, do your research, whatever. But I think just that permission for each of us to just go, until I know everything that I need to know for this, I just don't have an opinion one way or the other. And it's okay to be neutral, I think.
Yeah, right. So a couple of things on that. So as you were talking, one thing that struck me is, so what do you think about that? What's your opinion? Basically, when we say that, or when that's said to us, what's being said there is, make a judgment.
Right.
Judge them. The irony to me is our culture is so like, oh, who are you to judge? Quit judging. Stop being such a judgy judgerson.
Yeah.
And yet, that is implicitly what we're saying every time we say, or somebody says to us, what do you think?
Yeah.
What's your opinion?
Yeah.
What's your thought on that? And sort of like my brow is furrowed. Like, did you hear what, again, such and such did or said? People want us. And usually, I think what's going on there, much of the time psychologically, is people are looking for, first of all, affirmation that they're right about that, but also their righteous indignation. We're looking for other people to join us, we're people to join us on the bandwagon or in the mob.
Right.
We're trying, let's at least in a metaphorical sense on social media, we're looking for the pitchforks and torches. And there's a lot of that. But again, as you said, and as your husband is such a great witness of that, I completely agree. The right thing is, I don't know enough about that. But secondly, the second thing I was thinking about, and I don't have time, like this is not important enough for me to, I don't know enough right now, and to be honest with you, this is not important enough to me that I'm going to take time to gather more information. So I'm not going to render an opinion on this. Because to render an opinion, I feel like I need to get more information. And there's a lot of things I could find out more information about. And this is not one of the things that I think is important.
Great
so
point.
Going back to that, do I have to opinion everything? No. And I think it's okay that we don't. That we don't need to render a judgment about everything.
Yeah. And then I would say also that charity really needs to go along with opinions too. Having charity towards others.
Okay, so are you
listening to others' opinions?
Who are you? Do you think that's a problem with our audience, Robyn?
No, probably not with our audience, I guess.
So help our audience.
Help Chris's audience here listening on the radio or wherever they are. I think, how can we? What do we need to do to help others to see the way that things can be done charitably with opinions? Yes. What difference will that make in our life?
Yep.
And how that can affect others in our immediate circles, because that's what it's about, is doing it as Christians, with our opinions, representing yourself. If you're a Christian, will represent yourself as one. Your opinions are likely going to be reflective of your Christian life, and how we can do that charitably and beautifully when we are sharing our opinions, but also accepting others, but that we can model that for others, whether it's in conversations at home, at work, whether it's on social media, wherever it is, extended family. So is that kind of what you're thinking? Like how we can show others how to opinionate well.
There we go. Very well said. And what I love about your answer, actually, what I was going to ask you, and we only have a couple minutes left. I was going to ask you, okay, Robyn, what does this have to do with missionary discipleship? What does this have to do with following Jesus Christ? But actually, you just gave the answer to that question, because we're called as Christians to love God and love our neighbor. So how, in the context of contemporary society and culture, the way that people communicate, the way that people talk together about events and news, this is an important way for us to love our neighbor and to model that love for others who might be watching.
For sure.
So I do think this is, a lot we talk about Ignition about growing as missionary disciples. Includes things like how do we pray, what do we believe, how do we share our faith with others, but that human formation, how to be a mature human being, how to be a virtuous person is very much part of what it means to be a missionary disciple. And to me, this whole conversation around opinions and how to opinionate well is around human formation as missionary disciples.
Yeah, I heard on the way in on the radio, be the reason someone else thinks God is good. And I think that can be in opinions too.
Yep. And I think it can start
everything,
with, it can start with like, be the reason in the way that you act.
Exactly.
Be the reason that somebody, maybe even before they get to, oh God, it's good. Like they stop and reflect a little bit on themselves and how they opinionate.
Yeah.
So if we can model how to opinionate well, then I think that we have helped others, hopefully, take another step, actually, ironically, closer to Jesus themselves.
Of course. I love it.
Great. Thank you, Robyn. I had some thoughts on where this might go. I've enjoyed this conversation. I'm glad that Michaela proposed the topic.
Oh, thanks, Michaela.
Yeah, thanks, Michaela. And thanks, Robyn, for support, for bringing the idea forward.
Yeah.
And folks, that will wrap up this episode. Again, you can email us, ignition@sfcatholic.org, with questions about today's episode or ideas for future ones. Until next time, may God bless you.